To schedule an appointment, call Dr. Fetter, 212-535-8700.
In all four corners of the globe, the discriminating traveler agrees. Crystal Cruises' grand hotels afloat will take you to 6 continents in award-winning style. Come, judge for yourself. Crystal Cruises, like heaven, but with a return trip.
You don't have to suffer from the discomfort or the unsightly appearance of varicose and spider veins. Dr. Fetter's advanced sclerotherapy treatments can rejuvenate your hands and legs. You'll see stunning results as unattractive varicose veins virtually disappear before your eyes. This procedure is frequently covered by insurance. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call Dr. Fetter at 212-535-8700.
We're back. John, we were talking between the break on about the autologous fat you wanted to know
Yes,
about.
that sounded very interesting. Well, you take fat from one area of the body and inject it in one's face.
Well, I think we've discussed this before, but remember, we're doing grafting, basically, taking tissue from one part of the body to the other. It can't move, it's your own tissue, it's natural, and you can't reject it. The aging process, for example, is not merely corrected by cutting and pulling in the facelift position and tying up those muscles, because many times areas in here cannot be corrected by this incision. So we basically take your own tissue to reestablish those areas of facial loss through use atrophy and aging and exposure to the elements. And this is a situation where the area is safe because it cannot move. It's basically a graft, and within 2 or 3 days that area becomes what we call vascularized and becomes part of the body's own tissue. So I've done about thousands of patients with this, and it works.
Yeah, how long does it last?
Well, it depends on the area you do, and each time we do it, we get a certain percentage to take permanently. For example, the first time we do it, the take is smaller. You'll get a 40 to 50% permanent take. I'm going to show you 1 or 2 pictures to give you an idea what we're talking about. And subsequent touch-ups, we can get a 70 to 80% take. So it's a wonderful procedure. I do it in the hands and the face and other body parts. And we do it on an average week, maybe 5 or 6 patients a week, just for that alone. So we may do that in addition to a facelift, and then do some autologous fat into this area. We may do liposculpture of the neck, a light peel or a deeper peel like the one you had today, George. Rejuvenate the hands that way, and we're going to show some pictures right now. Let's go to those pictures of the face first, of a woman who had it done before and after. Now you see how she was a dancer. So you see how the loss of tissue, she's only 40 years of age, her lips seem to get smaller, and her nasolabial areas are smaller, and the malar prominence, which is around the cheek area, that also seemed to be in an area of atrophy and recession. So we did an autologous fat transplantation, and you see she came back, I think 6 months thereafter, just for touch-up, and she's just fine. It took, and she's very, very pleased. Now, we're going to show you another area that can be treated in the same manner. We'll go to that in a moment, and that's autologous fat transplantation to the hands in conjunction with a peel. So what we do is we take tissue from the hip, and we wash it, treat it, concentrate it, and in a special manner, we inject it into the hand. Now here's a pre of a woman in her mid-70s, and as you see, the veins are very prominent. There's discoloration of the skin, very atrophic look. Elasticity is at a minimum. And this lady had facial work. She was very happy. She said, "What can you do for my hands?" So we started her on a rejuvenation treatment for her hands with special creams at home. And this is after a 6-month treatment. I think you'll agree with me that she looks a lot better. She's a very happy lady. You see, you do a patient, and you do all this work on her face and body, and her hands look bad. They don't like that. So there are things that we can do to make the hands in harmony with how someone feels and how they look with their face and body. It's a total, and it's a continuum. It's not one small thing. It's nutrition, it's health, it's exercise, taking care of yourself, getting the right amount of exercise, but also the right amount of sleep. It's a total equilibrium that all of us have to work with. Precisely. And that's exactly.
Do a lot of men have that procedure done in your office?
A good number. I do more women, but I certainly get at least 35 or 40% of my practice is men, as I can attest to with all you glamorous gentlemen right here. So it's quite nice. Now, George, the musician star, tell us a little more. You had something you want to know about more about the peeling.
Well, yeah, I was just curious about how it would eventually have the effect, of course, of the encroaching of the proverbial crow's feet and.
Well, you know, that's very interesting you mentioned, because the crow's feet, like in your case, eventually, if we'll talk about it more, I would use the Botox injections on you also, which would basically paralyze these little areas, the muscles here, and would just smooth right out. And after 5 or 6 days after I inject you there, I'm going to smooth this whole thing out, and then we could do a little bit in here, and it's just an amazing procedure because these areas are taut because the muscles are constantly in basically contraction. Once they're relaxed and basically, in effect, paralyzed, because they're not doing anything for you, they make you look squinty and kind of tired.
Right.
I don't want you to look like a math professor forever. I mean, you're a famous jazz
I know
pianist.
That was your analogy today.
Right. I mean, once we do that, you're going to find a very nice, relaxed look to yourself. In addition, we'll continue with the chemical peels, the light peels. Later on, we might consider a little deeper peel for you. And of course, at home, you have to use those skincare products that I gave you. You have
Which
the
I have been
glycolic.
enjoying very much.
Now, you're on what regimen right now, George?
I'm rotating 3 different things. The one that I remember is the
Glycolic, yes.
Okay, glycolic, and then there was a cleansing cream.
Right.
And of course the soap, which I enjoyed very
And the
much.
Retin-A also I have you
That's
on.
correct.
And the reason I have you on 2 of those products, they both have different actions. Glycolic, our special glycoderm, that separates individual cells, so the cells slough off. Now the retinoic acid, on the other hand, has an effect that it works within the cell and increases what's called mitochondrial activity and increased oxygenation within the cell itself to keep the cell plumper and healthier, and it causes more of a turnover. So using those 2 products together and avoiding the sun, I'll make you a promise. In 3 to 4 months, you're going to look 10 to 15 years younger and better. You'll like you for you. I mean, that's how those ravages, you know, when you're going in front of Carnegie Hall playing your piano there, I mean, you gotta look good, George.
Of course.
And by the way, we all want good seats. You're not gonna forget us now, are you?
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Really.
Now, Derek, you also mentioned to me, you say, you know, because you're dark, you want to take certain precautions. Are you careful on the sun also?
I don't worship the sun.
Yeah. You worship the almighty dollar, is that right?
Only between 8 and 4
4
p.m.
Okay, okay.
Mom, I didn't say that.
But you're careful about that, aren't you?
I'm very careful about that. Something that struck me as we're sitting here and I'm listening to the different, we all have our own Achilles heel, our own weak spot. I'm curious, I think as a black man and many men who disproportionately have curly facial hair, curly hair, I shave with a depilatory, I don't shave with a razor. And I find, you know, often I might get dermatitis in a spot and, you know, it can move, it's a movable feast.
Right.
What would you recommend or
Well,
suggest?
that's a condition many times called pseudofolliculitis barbae. And what happens is the hair itself curls up and it goes back into the skin and causes what's called a foreign body reaction. In effect, it's a chronic inflammatory response by the hair. So what you have to do is take an old toothbrush and release those hairs. And there's a couple of special shaving instruments made by some of the companies. I think Braun has one. I think Norelco makes one that is especially equipped. The head catches the hair at a certain angle so it doesn't cut back and do that. So check in some of the big department stores for that thing. I think you'll find it very, very helpful.
No, but once you do that, or once, because I think using a depilatory as I have, I've met with a fair amount of success.
Yeah.
But it's the actual dermatitis that I get in, you know, we solve the inflammation issue and
Yes.
folliculitis, but then it's the dermatitis that you get. You'll get a little rough patch of skin here or there, and through use of the products.
Remember I gave you some mild steroid cream for that. And I
Yes,
think,
that's right.
Yeah, it's an ongoing chronic thing. I mean,
Right.
we're not going to cure it per se. We'll control it. It's like
Okay.
many other, you know, low-grade problems. But fortunately for you, it's done very well.
Yeah,
and I'm quite pleased, and I
worked.
think you are too. I like the way your skin looks, and terrific. But nobody move, because I have some information for you at home. Please don't quit. We'll be right back.
Beauty, they say, is in the eyes of the beholder. How you feel about your appearance can have a dramatic effect on your life. Your face is your window to the world. Dr. Louis Fetter's breakthrough techniques in chemodermabrasion and chemical peels can produce dramatic improvements in your skin's complexion and help remove and greatly reduce the appearance of acne facial scarring and other skin imperfections. You can reverse the effects of aging and sun-damaged skin with these highly effective techniques pioneered by Dr. Fetter. For more information, call 212-535-8700. Dr. Fetter invites you to experience the quality and effectiveness of his personally formulated skin treatment products and cosmetics. These acclaimed products have been dispensed and tested worldwide for over 15 years. The more than 100 products are free of any known allergens and contain only the finest quality ingredients. Once you've tried these products, you'll find them indispensable for maintaining a beautiful, clear complexion and general good health. For more information, Call Dr. Feder, 212-535-8700.
The act of giving has to be one of the very best feelings in the world. I personally put it up there with eating ice cream right out of the carton, or being on the receiving end of an unexpected kiss, or smelling a freshly mown lawn. Not surprisingly, the act of supporting our United Way produces the same wonderful effect. It takes our gifts and through the magic and not a little hard work of volunteers and nonprofit agencies turns those gifts into everything from food and shelter to disaster relief and daycare. And it all goes right to the people who really need it, right here in the neighborhood. So this year, if you would, support our United Way. I guarantee it'll be a very good feeling, and you won't even have to cut the grass to get it. United Way, with you, reaching those who need help, touching us all.
Now, there's a nearly perfect wrinkle treatment for worry lines, frown lines, crow's feet, laugh lines, and other so-called dynamic wrinkles. Dr. Feder's Botox Clinic features this remarkable treatment that's minimally invasive, extremely safe, and can achieve the desired results with a single treatment, often producing results that even surgery can't achieve. For more information about this breakthrough advance, or to schedule an appointment, call Dr. Feder, 212-535-8700. Dr. Feder has created one of the most important cosmetic surgical breakthroughs in 50 years, the facelift bypass. This unique rejuvenating process uses your own body tissue and can take 15 to 20 years off your appearance in just 1 hour. The procedure is virtually painless and leaves no scarring, often producing better results than a traditional facelift. Finally, there is a cost-effective innovation that can bring incredible results to anyone seeking to improve their appearance. For more information, call Dr. Feder, 212-535-8700.
We're back, gentlemen. So this is the kind of thing I think people at home want to know about. What men like yourself, what kind of things you aspire to, and how perhaps life has changed from the 80s to the 90s. And I think you've given them a pretty good overview of that. Now, my question is this. Are you fellows also taking care of yourself on, do you see your internist frequently? Do you go and have checkups and things of that sort?
Well, yes, well,
I
after you.
Derek, do you go and do these things, get your blood pressure? I know I do a blood test on you every couple of months myself, but are you going to your internist and getting checkups and taking care of yourself?
I do, and I guess one of the advantages of having you as a friend is the first time I came into your office and I saw that you also had a degree in pathology. I said, well, he's probably seen anything that can ail me, so why give the money to my internist? I can just ask you. Yeah. No, I do. I follow myself carefully with other physicians, but by and large, it's one of the nice things about coming to you is when I mention to you something that seems unrelated to cosmetic issues or care for my skin, you are willing freely to advise me which direction I should go.
Yeah.
That's
and referrals are also important. I mean, yeah. I try to also keep a very good group of other specialists around in our practice, and if I need to refer you, I have a really good group of doctors that I feel comfortable with, who I can send you to, that if you come from my office, they're going to treat you right. I mean, I don't like hearing that patients tell me, in this day and age, doctors, unfortunately, under a lot of pressure because of the changes in health care with the HMOs and the PPOs and things of that sort. So a lot of patients are not getting the kind of intense care that they once had. I mean, when a doctor has to see 40 and 50 patients a day, he can't sit and spend as much time with you as had in the past. So when a patient comes to me and I can give them that extra time because we're not involved in most of these health plans, right. It does make me feel good. When you ask me a question like that, I welcome it, and I try to help you as best I can.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I subsidize the cost of my medical care, but I have found that you might think, and ironically, as it turns out, if you're going into a doctor's office on Fifth Avenue, that it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and invariably it's been my experience that my insurance has reimbursed most of the cost of me coming to you, and the difference that they haven't has been well worth the price. So.
I didn't know we were an arm and a leg, though.
It's just an arm.
Just an arm. Just an arm. No, we find,
give me back my leg.
Our fees, we try to keep them very competitive, and I think you can see.
Oh, absolutely.
You can
it's
see a doctor.
Plus, you've been doing this for a long time, over 25 years.
400 years? No.
400 years?
Not 20. No. We've been in practice about 18 years, sure.
I've been a patient of yours for several years, and what I like sometimes when I come to your office in the daytime, I sneak away for lunch, and you give me your facials, which is very nice. The office environment is very soothing, and I just lay back, and you give me a facial.
I don't.
And
Oh, no.
well, you did it once or twice.
Did I?
You did it once
I
or
must have
twice, and the
forgotten.
girls usually do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you give me the chemical peel,
Yeah.
which is very quick, takes a minute to do, and just keeps my skin rejuvenated and glowing. So that's a procedure I like a lot.
Okay, Joe. Now, I happen to have the privilege of playing your track from your new album, On Fifth.
View from
And-
Fifth.
View from Fifth. And, you know, I thought it was Fifth Avenue, you told me it was Fifth Street, but it's the same thing. But it's close.
Who's counting?
But I want to hear that now. I think our audience will really like hearing it. And
I hope they
you've-
do.
I hope you've chosen a nice track for us. And my engineers will let me know momentarily when they're going to be able to play that. And I want to thank you all for coming, because I think we had a great show. I think everyone at home is interested in men like yourselves, because you're the kind of men that make things happen for a great city like New York. And
It's a pleasure to be on your show.
I'll see
Thank
you all
you.
very soon.
We'll see you soon.
Here's looking at you. Good night. And I'd like you to hear this great track from George Small. See you next week.